All right, so some interesting comments as the Michigan Wolverines landed Aidan Hutchinson, who is arguably the second best player in college football, if not in theory the best player. The Michigan Wolverines landed on Christmas. I did want to talk about just one thing that he had to say because I know it's going to be taken the wrong way, which is exactly the reason why you got to watch what you say. So here's what he had to say, talking about um, the heat, I think it was, and how that affects pass rushes. Again, this guy is legit now. He's probably going to be a top five NFL pick. We'll see how high he goes. Number one is not at all out of the question. And but I know how Kirby and his group are about things, and they'll use everything and anything that you say against you. And obviously, with Georgia arriving the 26th and Michigan arriving today, we got to hear from the Wolverines first. Here's what Hutchinson had to say on the if the heat. Well, there were a lot of questions about the heat, and I mean it is a lot hotter in Miami, upper 70s or lower 80s. It is a lot hotter in Miami than it is in Athens, but it's almost double the heat as in Michigan over the last so few weeks. He said um, on if the heat will play a difference in how he paces himself in a fast-paced pass rush. I don't think so. It's nice being out here and definitely going to have to get used to it at first for a little bit. Come Friday, we're rolling and nothing is going to stop me. That last sentence. I mean, these guys will use anything they can to motivate themselves to play at a higher level. And there's a couple of different things here. And again, I mean, like, I'm not saying he said anything wrong. I just know how this is going to get taken by the Bulldogs, which is they're going to say, "What are you talking about, man? Nothing's going to stop you. We're going to stop you." They're going to be beating this into the heads of the offensive line for sure, if not the entire offense, the whole week. We got 5 days before this game, and he said, "Come Friday, we're rolling, and nothing's going to stop me." Well, that will add plenty of motivation. But like, look, again, motivation is only going to get you so far. You're going to have to go out and perform, which is the number one thing. But his statement there assumes a few things. First of all, that Georgia is going to be in passing situations a lot to begin with, which I don't know. If they are, Michigan's going to win. So not much to talk about there. They're certainly going to be rolling, but you're going to need to get to 3rd and 8. And you're going to need to account for the tight ends in those situations. There's a lot of issues here for Michigan to deal with. Georgia just played the best team it's played all season, and this will probably be the second best team that they play. But it's certainly the I mean, it seems to me, although Alabama has been crazy inconsistent this season, that on their best day, they're going to beat, obviously, they beat Georgia, they would beat Michigan, they would beat Cincinnati. The question for all four of these teams is, are you going to have your best day or at least a lot better day than your foe? What is the mindset in Athens? We'll hear from the Dogs later today, Kirby and all of them, when they arrive in Miami. But what is the mindset of this program after them getting beat by 17 in Atlanta by the Tide and letting Alabama come into the playoff yet again? There's only two teams that have been in the playoff before. It's Georgia and Alabama. That's usually the best way to perform in a playoff is having been there before. Whether you're talking about Alabama in 15, obviously nobody had been there in 14. Ohio State won it. Alabama in 15, Clemson in 16, Alabama in 17, Clemson in 18. LSU's the outlier in 19, having come in with a hot team. Michigan's hot right now. Are they the best team coming into this thing? And what about Cincinnati? I mean, Cincinnati's like, well, wait a second. How is Michigan hotter than us? We've not lost. But that one statement from him is going to get turned around the entire week. They're not going to say anything about it. Now, there's a lot more talking this week for Georgia than they've had the entire season. So you'll get Kirby and company today. Then you'll have 5 players for the offense, 5 players for the defense, and you'll have media day. And then you'll have, I mean, so it's a lot. The schools control it during the season. During the bowls control things. So we saw yesterday that Michigan, in a small amount of time, one player, their best player, said something that's going to be taken by the dogs and used this entire week. Not in public, but privately, quietly, Matt Luke and company, Kirby certainly, until that video or audio leaks. Kirby knows about that. But I think to some degree, this shows that Michigan, this is somewhat new to them, but maybe that's not even true. But there's going to be a lot of moments here where players who are not used to talking publicly are going to be talking. And does someone say something that's really not that stupid to say? Is someone going to say something crazy stupid like, you know, Oklahoma 1986 stupid, or Miami when they played Penn State coming off with camo? I don't know. But um, this is a week where you've got to be disciplined in practice, discipline on Friday, and discipline in the media the entire week, because any one statement can be used against you. And that's what Georgia will do with this comment. A seemingly completely harmless comment from Michigan's best player is going to serve at minimum for their attention getting at the beginning of this week. We're going to be down in Miami later tonight. I'm recording this at a secret location, as you can tell, and then we're going to have you completely ready to go. There's a lot going on, y'all. I mean, Georgia arrives today immediately to the press conferences in the morning. Then we've got practice later that day. I don't know if it's typically Georgia goes earlier in the day so they can practice and do everything they want to do in terms of film breakdown and so forth. But, this is a group that, unlike Michigan, went home for Christmas and kind of paused football for a moment. And now I can tell you right now that they are fully ready, mentally moving forward to this game. And that's great. That's a good start. But you got to do it, and you got to do it all week. And you have to eat right the whole week. You have to speak to the media, in a defensive way, I would say, or a smart way, stuff like that. Because if I can talk about this for 8 or 10 minutes, Kirby can talk about it the whole week, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, I didn't take anything else. I mean, Michigan. You could make the case is really the best positioned team to come to this thing and win it. They're the hottest team with the way that they beat Ohio State and Iowa. They are. They have very possibly the best player in college football in Hutchinson. They've got a lot going for them. The weather, I mean, I don't know that I buy that the weather is going to matter that much for Michigan. Now, Georgia, I'm not saying they're used to it, but I'm telling you right now, I'm in North Georgia and it's hot right now here. And that's not something you normally see this time of year. Normally it's in the 40s. Well, it's almost in the 70s now. So going out of Miami and being in the 80s, it's not going to matter. Also, it's going to be at night. So I don't know that that's going to be a huge thing. It's going to be something people talk about the whole week. The team that executes the best is going to win this game and advance to the national championship. And we're just going to see who they play there. Yeah, I think Alabama's going to win. But Alabama's gotten, if they've had the reverse of what Nick wanted for the last, 2.5, 3 weeks. They've had the rat poison the whole time. Everybody's picking them to win, except Las Vegas, which is a very tight thing between them and Georgia. So let's just see what happens. I mean, this is a wonderful opportunity for Georgia. I know the fans are aggravated, understandably, but Georgia's got to do it. It's up to them. It's no different for the other four teams, but other three teams. But it's up to the dogs. They have been the most consistent team the entire season. They've been more consistent than Michigan, Cincinnati, certainly more consistent than Alabama. But when they played Alabama, they laid an egg. They did not play well in the second quarter after developing a double-digit lead. This is the fourth time in a row that Georgia had a double-digit lead against Alabama and lost. They're going to have to perform this week. They're not playing Alabama. That's this statement. That may be what gets their attention the most. Come Friday, we're rolling and nothing's going to stop me. It's like a Jefferson airplane or Jefferson, whatever they were. Nothing's, you know what? Copyright infringement. I gotta do it. We'll see you rest of the way down in Miami. Thanks for watching. Dogpost.com. We'll see you on the website.